Deputy Ministers Masondu Sarupen, Governor Khanyogo and the SARB team, DG Peterson, the NT colleagues, business leaders present, ladies and gentlemen, and especially bereaved family. Today we gather, and I don't think any one of us were forced to be here, to celebrate the life and the legacy of someone who was truly remarkable, Tito Mboweni. Someone whose life was his work and his work was his life. It was indivisible. A man whose journey was not marked by the positions he held, but by the transformative impact he left wherever he went. No one of the roles he occupied before democracy as a struggle activist or afterwards in public service ever became an end in itself for him, except maybe Governor number 8. He took every role with single-minded clarity of purpose to serve the democracy, to transform lives, and especially improve the lives of the most vulnerable in society. Whether as the South African Minister of Labour under the leadership of Nelson Mandela, where he was instrumental in crafting the policies that would lay the foundation for a more equitable and just society and championing the path that would enshrine the dignity and rights of workers. That was, by the way, the first time I met him when, as a young Minister of Labour, he explained to us the thinking behind the laws and why it was necessary. Or whether it was as the South Africa's first Minister of the Governor of the Reserve Bank, where with distinction he masterfully navigated the complexities of our country's monetary policy and through prudent decision-making and a commitment fostered an environment of financial stability, and we have to say probably the most stable and prosperous decade of our young democracy. Or whether ultimately as Minister of Finance, he brought to bear his wealth of experience along with political astuteness. He demonstrated an unwavering commitment to transparency and fiscal responsibility. Whether in any one of those roles, a single thread can be drawn that Tito was a public servant who genuinely believed in the power of transformation and had an unyielding belief in the potential of South Africa, a belief that was deeply rooted in his conviction that our greatest asset is our people. Tito was unconventional in his approach, as I would learn through my personal experience of working with him directly after a phone call he made to tell me that I was appointed as the next Commissioner of SARS. I reflect on the early days and think that COVID-19 really worked for Tito. When the President announced the hard lockdown, Tito took the President so seriously that he locked himself up in Magoebaskloof long after the hard lockdown was removed. And we struggled to get him away from his favorite and beloved town. And I think many international investors would soon learn what the inside of an African gazebo looks like as Tito dialed into meetings from Magoebaskloof. He was unconventional. Many of my approvals I got from him was via SMS. I appreciated the fact that Tito was not a micromanager. He gave clear direction, then got out of the way, and empowered us, certainly me, to do my work without trying to manage me. I experienced him as a principled, candid, and independent thinker. He was deeply rooted in the politics of liberation, but never became a slavish ideologue. His political allies knew his unwavering resolve in every matter that he defended, and his political opposition respected him equally. Many referred to Tito as being non-racial. I experienced that firsthand when I took my first exco to him, and the first few names were white people. He stopped me and he said, "I hope you're not going to appoint an all-white exco." I said, "No, I've got others coming." But that was Tito, a meritocrat and a true non-racial South African. He called me Caesar, with reference to the biblical text, give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. And I had to remind him that I don't pocket any of the cents that I collect, so I cannot be Caesar. But I valued the term of endearment. I was once depicted by Brandon the cartoonist as the rabbit that Tito pulled out of the hat when we announced revenue overruns. I also here and there proposed a scriptural quotation. As mentioned, he particularly included these in his budget speeches. He once told me that after his first day of leaving SARB, he got into his car and sat, and after a few minutes wondered why the car wasn't moving. And he realized that he had to get into the other seat and drive himself. So we'll remember him with fondness as a socio-economic champion who balanced vision with practical and inspirational implementation, emphasizing that the ultimate thing that matters was the impact on the lives of the people whom we lead and serve. In our last conversation, he called me a few days before the election, and he never called me Edward. He said, "Commissioner, I'm worried about the way the political climate is changing." He said, "I think a few of us, you, me, Trevor, and a few of us, we need to get together and discuss our country's future." That was his continued pursuit. In celebrating his life, let us commit ourselves to the principle he held dear: integrity, courage, and an unwavering commitment to the greater good, never only serving narrow self-interest. And in doing so, we will not honor the life of Tito Mboweni, but ensure that his light continues to guide our way forward. To the bereaved family, losing a father, as some of us have, a brother, a partner, a friend, is never easy. But may you be comforted in the knowledge that Tito has lived a meaningful life and that through his work touched many lives indelibly. May the memories of him not only serve to comfort you, but may it continue to be a blessing. And to all of us who have to look into the mirror and be reminded of our own mortality, let us ensure that we live a life of purpose, a life of impact, a life that can truly leave this place a better one than what we found when we were born. Hamba kahle, Tito, sibonga umsebenzi wako, khani nempilo yako. Thank you.